What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're doing another review, and we are keeping it with the NECA theme, seeing that the last video we did was the Alpha Predator, and today we'll be going back to the Alien franchise for the Scorpion Alien. But before we touch anything in that area, I want to go back to the Alpha Predator video actually for just a moment, and there is something I want to address. There was something in the packaging that I did not see that I wanted to share with you guys, so yeah. And what that thing was, there was a little slit on the top of the packaging. When you open up the lid, there's this little slit here, and I didn't realize till filming the Scorpion Alien video that there was actually things in that slit. Two pieces of paper, going over the more obvious one, which is a poster of the Alpha Predator, and this just looks really cool. I thought that the box art was just cool as it is, and now I have a bigger version that I'm probably never gonna find a frame for because I have an issue where I like framing posters. But on the other side, we have a look at every Predator figure NECA has put out so far, starting off with the Masked Wolf all the way to the Alpha Predator, and there's just a lot of cool figures on here that I kind of wish I were able to obtain. And we have some of the AVP arcade figures. You know that on this channel I've covered the Alien side of things for that series, but there's just a bunch of cool figures, and I kind of want to hang this up, but I'm stingy and I want to put it on put it in a frame, and then I'm just for now gonna keep it in the box. And then the second piece of paper is actually a bunch of lore about the Alpha Predator, and if I knew about this I would have just read it to you guys, because as you know I like having lore segments in these videos and, you know, letting you guys know in on the lore about the figure we are reviewing. So that's pretty much all I forgot to share with you guys in the Alpha Predator video. So now that's out of the way, we can move on to the Scorpion Alien. Going back to lore for just a second, let's go over the lore of the Scorpion Alien, because I can never let you guys just get right into the figure review. And in the description there are chapters, so if you want to skip the lore you can easily do that. But for those who do care about the lore segments of these videos, let's get into the Scorpion Alien lore, starting off with his appearances. Now, only appearing in 3 mini comics that were put out by Kenner when Kenner used to run the Alien toy line. The 3 comics in question were Aliens Desert Storm, Aliens Operation Rescue, and Aliens Hive War, and these are all a bunch of mini comics that Kenner would put out with their Alien toys. You know, you get the figure and you get a little mini comic included, and I think that's something that's really cool, and I kind of wish we would see with NECA, but NECA does such a phenomenal job with these figures. And just I'm not gonna, you know, start shitting on NECA. You know how much I love NECA, but yeah, no, mini comics, that's where this boy is from, and those are the only appearances we have of him. There's no games, no movies, nothing like that, unfortunately. But getting into the looks and what makes him different from the rest of the Hive, starting off with the first obvious change, and that is the color scheme of the Scorpion Alien. He sports kind of a bronze red color scheme instead of the generic dark blue and black color scheme that most xenomorphs have. And then what makes him so special, the special ability of the Scorpion Xenomorph, is the fact that he has a scorpion-like stinger on the end of his tail that has a toxin in it that can paralyze its prey. Finally, not much is known about the origin of this variant or how the Scorpion Alien came to be. All we do know is the colony that they were found on, Tanaka 5, there is an indigenous scorpion-like species that lives on the planet, and it is theorized that they have connections to the birth of the Scorpion Alien. That is pretty much all that we know about the Scorpion Alien. I will put a link in the description to Xenopedia if you want to learn a little bit more about the Scorpion Alien, or if you're interested in those 3 mini comics, the article on the Scorpion Alien will have a link down below to those comics if you want to look into those. But with all that said, we can now look into the figure of the Scorpion Alien. So looking at the packaging, this isn't our traditional NECA packaging. This is something that's a little bit different, and I don't know how I feel about it. I like storing my Alien figures in the boxes as of for now, until I get space to actually put them out on a shelf. But so this is something new, but we have everyone on the back. We have a bunch of figures that I am semi-interested in getting, and let's open this boy up. So starting off with articulation, our boy can look up and down pretty well, which is always a good thing, and then he can tilt his head side to side, but only really when his head is looking down. If you have his head up, he's not really going to move side to side very much, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Getting to the arm articulation, he can bring his arms up a good amount, and he can rotate them 360 degrees, which is always a good sign of shoulder articulation. For me, his arm articulation was a little stiff, but I was able to loosen it up to a point where it felt good. And then he can bring his forearms up a really good amount, which is a good sign of elbow articulation. Just really good how far he can bring those forearms up. And then getting to the hands, it's just generic xenomorph hand articulation. You can rotate 360 degrees and rotate it pretty much, however you want, or bend it however you want, I should say. And then the fingers just go up and down. Getting into torso articulation, this is actually some really good torso articulation. He can kind of do a crunch, but he can't do a full 360 spin and do side to side, but it's just that back and forward crunch that's a little iffy. But after that, really good torso articulation. I'm just happy he can do a crunch at all. Then getting the leg articulation, he can do a full split, and he can rotate his leg 360 degrees. Just be careful with the socket, but you can achieve that 360 degree spin if you really wanted to. And then he can do a really good butt kick. He can bring his foot pretty much all the way up, which is a good sign of knee articulation. And I just, it's important for a figure like this, and you'll see why later in the video. But and then getting to the feet articulation, it's kind of iffy. He can't really bend his foot back and forth. He can do a full 360 spin with it, but the up and down is just a little iffy, at least in my opinion. It is. And then the toes, just like the fingers, just go up and down. Nothing too complicated there. And then the tail, you can rotate it a full 360 at the base, and then of course the tail you can pretty much manipulate however you want. So some pretty good articulation on our Scorpion Alien here. And then really the only feature included with this guy is his second mouth. He doesn't really come with any accessories, so there's just a quick look at his second mouth. And of course, like in any other variant video I am doing, I want to compare the variant to a normal drone using the Aliens drone as reference. And funny enough, I think they used this mold as the base for the Scorpion Alien, so we will see a lot of similarities amongst the two. But starting off with the head region, obviously there's a very big difference with what is on the top of their heads. Where the Aliens drone has a ribbed head, we have a bunch of like serrated blades or fins going along the head of the Scorpion Alien, and obviously their color schemes are different. I know in the Xenopedia description they had reddish bronze skin, whereas this figure has black and bronze-ish gold. And moving down the body, we can see that the Scorpion Alien and the normal drone have the same exact shoulders and same exact torso. And one final observation I can make from this angle is on the bicep of the Scorpion Alien. He does have some spikes there, whereas our normal drone does not. And then moving further down the arm, we can see that the normal drone kind of has like this stem kind of fin going around his forearm, or down his forearm I should say, where the Scorpion drone does not. And what he does have instead are some spikes around his wrist. Going really in depth with this comparison, going to the actual hands of the variants, we can see that the Scorpion Alien's fingers are just a little bit longer than the normal drone, but there is no difference in just appearances. It's just the Scorpion Alien does have longer fingers. And moving down to the legs, we can see that there's an immediate difference with the Scorpion Alien and the normal Alien when it comes to the thigh area. When we look at the normal drone, we can see it's just kind of the ribbed look, where if we look at the Scorpion Alien, there's a hollow area in the thigh, and we have no idea if this serves any kind of purpose. There's nothing stated on Xenopedia. I'm assuming it has to do something with being more agile and quicker. And then we can see at the upper knee and the upper part of the Scorpion Alien's calf, we can see that there are spikes, where on the normal drone there are none at all. And for your freaks who are curious, there is a difference between their feet. If we look at the normal drone, he has 4 toes with one of them pointing out to the side, where if we look at the Scorpion Alien, he does have 4 toes, but they are all pointed straight. And when comparing the spine area of these drones, we can see on the normal drone he has his normal 5 spines, but looking at the Scorpion Alien, he actually has 6, 2 small ones on the bottom, and then 4 bigger golden ones on the top that kind of curve up. And finally, when comparing the tails between the two variants, obviously the drone has this generic long, dark, pointy tail, and then our Scorpion Alien has, for what mostly is a normal tail up until the end, where he has a scorpion stinger used to paralyze his prey. And because I don't know the order in which I do my videos anymore, we're going to do the size comparisons now for the Scorpion Alien, starting off with NECA's Aliens Ultimate Edition Xenomorph. And the height difference, there isn't really too much. It seems like the Scorpion Alien is just a taller by like an inch because of the fins on his head. Then we have NECA's Alpha Predator, and it seems like that the Scorpion Alien is also just a smidget taller than our Alpha Predator because of the blades or fins on top of his head. And moving away from NECA, we have Jazzwares The Spartan Collection Halo Infinite Master Chief. Then we have Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series Republic Commando Boss. And then finally, we have McFarlane's Doomslayer. And here we are at the turntable segment of the video where I go over my thoughts on the figure, the good and the bad, and all that. Starting off with the bad because I like to get that sour stuff out of the way. And realistically, I only have one complaint about this figure, and it is that this figure does not like to stay up. Fuck! So I do recommend having a NECA stand on standby to have this guy displayed on your shelf. But even with the NECA stand, there were some poses that he was still falling over, and these weren't even like dramatic, like running or jumping poses. Just this guy's balance is very, very iffy, and even the stand will help, but it will not solve your issue completely because there will be times where he still wants to fall over. So that's unfortunate, but that's probably my only complaint about the figure. Getting into what I really like about the figure, starting off with the obvious, the paint and the sculpting looks really good. With the sculpting, nothing looks off, nothing looks funky or just out of place. And with the paint job, I really like how the bronze and the black and the grays really contrast with each other and make, you know, smaller, finer details pop out. I think that's something that these two contrasting colors really bring to the table. It's just the making all the sculpt work pop out. And that's pretty much all I have to say about aesthetics, because we both know I can go about why I love NECA's paint and sculpt work for their figures for hours. I can talk about that for just hours on end. But getting into the feel of the figure feels really good. The only kind of issue I have is with the crunch. I just wish you could achieve a full crunch. My goal is to have a Xenomorph figure that can just do a full crunch. I think one of the arcade figures were able to do so, but ever since I was able to achieve that feeling, I just wish all Xenomorph figures could achieve some kind of crunch, because these are agile creatures that bend and move all around, and I just wish that they could do that in the torso area. But after that, I think that the head articulation, arm, leg, tail articulation is all fine and dandy. But overall, I think that this is a good NECA figure. I don't think it excels in anything, but I don't think it does anything bad besides the whole balancing issue. So overall, just a very fine figure released by NECA. I think he looks cool. It's nothing too crazy when it comes to Xenomorph variants, but cool nonetheless with all the spikes and the stinger and all that. So do I recommend this figure? Yes, if you are just willing to throw down the almost $40 price range for this figure, by all means. But there are more interesting figures out there that I do recommend over this. But I'm not going to deter anyone from indulging themselves in buying a Xenomorph figure. So if you do ask, hey, you recommend this? I'll be like, yeah. But if you were to be like this or the Razor Claw Xenomorph, I'd be like, get the Razor Claw. So yeah, I don't know if anything I'm saying is making sense, so I'm just gonna shut up now. But yeah, fine figure, do recommend, but there are better options. That's what I'm trying to say. But with all that said, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a like and a subscription would be cool. Don't worry about commenting, because that's a lot of effort unless you want to give me your feedback down below. And don't worry about the bell. We both know that's broken. And if you want to see more content like this, I got some videos on the channel for you to go check out. And I have more on the way. So I will see you all in another one.